Oh man, and we are back with another episode of Flagrant 2 with X and Lou, your two favorite NBA media personalities, analysts, hot take enthusiasts, whatever you want to call it, man. Just don't call us late for dinner. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be tuned in to all of our newest episodes. Comment, man. Please leave a comment. You know, it helps out the algorithm, helps us out, you know what I'm saying? And then we get to interact with you guys. We answer. But at the very least, X answers. I laugh. One of us answer. Anyways, season's done, bro. Season is done. Job finished. Job is finished, man. Shout out OKC, NBA champs. Shout out Shea. Not only did he win the MVP, but after the game, he went into the locker room. He went to Hallie. You gave him his well wishes and everything. That's a champion on the court and off the court, man. Real MVP. That's real MVP status right there. Because he ain't had to do that. None of the other team did.
Yeah,
Shea did.
I mean, it's a tough thing. Like, it just shows that the NBA is not just who wins. It's about brotherhood. Because at the end of the day, we know people getting injured. Yeah, we know people getting injured. That's their money that's being affected.
Yeah, facts. It's tough.
So it's like,
and
you don't want
it's tough to injure yourself on a biggest stage, final game of the season. That's just tough, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We talked about it. What, game 4 and 5? We talked about it.
Hurt himself. Well, I was saying it. These calf strains, they lead to this. Seen it happen.
Yep.
And we were just hoping it didn't.
Yeah.
I thought Indiana was playing possum with this injury report because he came out the next game looking like
he was nice.
Perfectly fine.
Yep.
Yeah, he was looking perfectly fine. But then to be fair, when we think about it, that game was so good that he didn't have to look exceptional. So it probably masked the issue just that much more.
Yeah, could have. It could have.
He only had 14. He had like 14 and 8.
Yeah,
he came
but
out.
But when he plays well, he impacts everybody else on the floor. So I think that's what made it look so much better. Because if you look at Game 7, he started off. He was the only person really hitting. He was getting everybody else in position. He was like what, 3 for 4.
But the thing in Game 6 is, rest everybody else was playing that game to the biggest they could ever play.
Yeah.
So it's like, he does make people look better, but that's on the offensive side. That has nothing to do with what their defense was doing.
Right.
They was absolutely taking care of.
They was doing whatever they wanted to do on defense. Yeah.
And then on offense, they getting in transition, and he's just doing what he does, and it's just like. But the thing about a Game 6, when we think about the amount of pick and rolls that happened and everything, none of them was really targeting him, the guy who got the injured leg.
Yeah.
So it's like,
was keeping him out of
we got to think about it, just the fact that the defense playing fantastic masked the injury effect, and then him feeling himself in Game 7 coming out shooting hot.
Yeah, he was hot.
Maybe he was just feeling himself just a little too much.
No, I don't think he was
saying what happened.
I don't think he was.
Come on, he wasn't that aggressive in Game 6. He came out.
He wasn't
uber aggressive.
It was just a freak incident because
the guy just ran forward.
But what I'm saying as far as the negative step, and I think that's what everybody is getting into when it comes to these Achilles injuries, the negative step. Where it's kind of an unorthodox back move where you're trying to propel yourself forward and explode. And when you have a calf injury, that's just, there's too much tension to try to, come out of that break. You look at Dame's injury, you look at Dame, all the zeros, right? Dame, Tatum, and then Hallie. It's all of them kind of happen in a similar way. That back step, try to go forward, explode into it, and it just snaps. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough for all three of them, man. My heart and prayer out to Hallie and his family. I don't want to see anybody get injured, but if you're gonna get injured, man, this is like the worst time to get injured during the season, and that's the final game of the NBA playoffs, man. This
Mm-hmm.
sucks, but it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Part of the
I
game.
mean, we got to think about it, right? You sent me the picture of Siakam.
Mhm.
He happened to be everywhere. Your ACL messed up, Siakam there. And I was going to bring this up before you even mentioned it. I was sitting here really thinking, like, damn, Siakam, you're really on the other end of this. You are on the end of the winning side of this.
Hold on, can I pull this up? I'm gonna pull it up.
The picture. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you were in on the winning side of this in Toronto with KD injured himself in the same manner. Oh yeah, that's somebody who had the same exact one who injured himself in the same manner. Then we turn around a few years later, your chance to win the championship again goes down the drain in the same manner. It's unfortunate, but it's crazy that that's just how life goes. It's crazy. I'm just surprised that it happened like that.
Yes, it's insane. I'm trying to look for this picture, but it is insane. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I'll just pull this up this way. Why I didn't think about this, but yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's tough, but I mean, they still hung in there even after he went down. They hung in
Yeah.
there up until the third
Yeah.
quarter. Third quarter, this is what I wanted to see from the Thunder. This is exactly what I was talking about for the entire series. That third quarter was the first time I've actually seen them insert their will and dominate throughout the entire series. They have not done it the whole series. That third quarter, they turned it up. It was a different team that we saw. This is the team that we saw against Denver and against the rest of the league during the regular season. They inserted their will. They wanted it. They smelled water in the blood. I mean, water in the blood in the water.
Finally,
And
because damn.
yeah, they took over, man. So shout out to the Thunder. Terrific season for them. Shea, well-deserved MVP. Or they said the duo between J Will and SGA is the first duo to score like however many points since like what was it Shaq and Kobe. So
That's
I mean, shout
crazy.
out to them, man.
I
Shout out
mean,
to them.
let's keep it a stack. We probably single-handedly witnessed one of the top seasons in our game. No matter how anybody feels about it, we got Shea who won MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference MVP, scoring title, a championship.
Mm-hmm.
We got a 68 win team with one of the best net ratings ever. Did you know these guys were normally up by like 20 points against everybody throughout the regular season?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had the most 20-point wins.
Like, we witnessed dominance from the youngest team ever to do this. And you know how I always talk about the young guys. They taking over. They gotta come. It's always next for the next batch. It's always the next batch coming up. And I just be always want. I don't want the old guys. I love my old guys. You know what I mean? KD, LeBron, Steph Curry. But it's just like we all see the writing on the wall. These people are getting older. And every season, every season I pick somebody, I'll be like, yo, that's the guy. That's my guy. That's him. That's that. The young guys. Today,
Yep.
the torch has been passed or has been taken, however you want to look at it. Because guess what? I don't care what anybody say. I don't feel like neither one of them, KD. I mean, KD's in a whole new situation. Who knows? But KD, LeBron, and Curry
Keep talking.
have one of the
I'm here.
craziest chances to win a title. Because we got the Lakers, who's got to make things work, make things happen with this new contracts with LeBron James. What is he gonna do? You got Luca. You got to figure out how to get pieces around Luca. You got stuff you got to figure out. The Warriors, they had a year to figure this stuff out. So who knows? They can make anything happen. But KD just got to Houston. Is he a plug and play? One of the best plug and play players? Yes. But guess what? It's still going to take some time, some getting used to. You got to figure out tendencies of these guys, these players, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. You know, you got to have the personalities match too. Like, and we got to see how that goes. And Houston wasn't too far off to having a fantastic formula. They got rid of Jalen Green. I told you, get rid of Jalen Green. Jalen Green was one of the guys I picked as one of the guys. I'm not too good at the guards, but guess what? If he got his consistency, he would be fantastic, but he wasn't. So they made a change. So it's like these guys don't look like they could possibly do it right now. And we're looking at a team like KD probably in the best position out of all of them. I ain't even gonna lie. As far as the team around him, as far as like, you know, but as far as veterans, we so used to veterans winning. But look what we just got. The Young Bucks, one veteran, two veterans. One veteran who knows how to win and one who's just there, who's been a vet, who gives you all the little things you need at Hartenstein and Caruso. So it's tough. I just like the fact that we moving forward and moving on, and hopefully the young boys could keep taking this torch and moving forward with it.
Yeah, I agree. Let me pull up this picture. Siakam.
Hey.
Siakam.
You should pull up the other picture too, because he be summoning the basketball gods. He needed them. He needed them on his side again. And they were on his side.
Crazy, bro.
He had to make a sacrifice. It happened to be his teammate's Achilles.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I don't even think it's just that negative stuff. I think it's just I was looking. I you know, I'm on YouTube University. I gotta give a shout out to YouTube. They always keep me in the loop. But I was listening to a foot doc, and he's talking about the sneakers, not just the ankle support. We always go to the ankle support, but we got to talk about the rigidity of the shoe and the grip. Those are the two things that truly affect this type of injury itself in Achilles. And that's the thing that they need to be looking into. Adam Silver, go to YouTube. I'll send you the link. I'll email it to you. Check this guy out. Investigate the sneakers. Yes, they're getting better, but they're also getting worse.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't put it all on the shoes because, I mean, you look at guys back in the 80s and 90s, they was playing in Converses, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Taylors, bro. Going crazy.
Like I said, the shoes are getting better, but they're getting worse.
Nah, I could see them getting worse. Yeah,
because they're getting so much technology on the certain movements that they have to do now, and the game is obviously moving faster, quicker, and things like that. Where you gotta adjust to that and give them a good strength and ability. Because we've seen people like Zion bust out the shoes. You don't want that, but also the problem is it creates a certain rigidity in the shoe where they place certain materials and how they factor them in or whatever. Certain areas of the foot isn't allowed to move freely, so it puts more pressure and strain on those calves and those Achilles, and it just happened to that. Look, that's what the foot doc told me. I'm not an expert. The foot doc said it, and if the doctor said it, I'm not gonna believe every doctor. But we had more Achilles tears in one season that we've seen in a lifetime. this is a run in just the playoffs alone.
Yeah.
So just like I'm not gonna believe everything a doc say, but this is something that's like he's just looking out for the people.
I don't know, bro. It's tough. It's tough to say what's here or what's there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to sit here and because a lot of this is speculation, bro. A lot of this is speculative. So
Speculative on
I need
what?
because it's not
You need what?
concrete.
Proof?
Like I need more science behind it. I need more. I need to see the analytics behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like
This doctor been doing it. He's a foot doctor. He's
it's
been
one
looking at
doctor.
this for the
It's one
longest.
doctor, bro. I mean, science. You need
But
like
the thing about
4
it
or
is
5. You
like
gotta be variables.
we're seeing this in sports more.
Mhm.
But this stuff happens in life. This is like he just starting to look at it because it's starting to happen in sports. It's more prevalent in sports now because, like I said, we're seeing what's going on. So you could talk about it more. You like, damn, I need to see more. And you do need to see more. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, he's still speaking some fact. Like, this is a doctor. It's not like I'm just talking about some Joe Smo who was on the block with me smoking a joint, talking about, yo, nah, it's the sneakers. Oh, like, of course you need more. Like, come on. We need more facts and more understanding of what's going on. But at the end of the day, the way we get more facts and more understanding of what's going on is to see more Achilles breaks, tears, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that. So please, no, don't find out more, but don't find it out the hard way, please.
man. I
Like you
just
said, like you said,
I pray for it, man.
it's not the full thing. We need to see more, but at the end of the day, it's a start of the chain of events. I'm not
Yeah,
saying like I said, basketball moves quick and moves fast. There's a lot more movements nowadays. So that also doesn't help the fact anymore.
and you know
We
these.
don't just got 2 big men in the paint anymore. We're running around the entire court all game
Yeah,
chasing a player.
and I don't like the excuse where these guys been playing AAU and these guys been playing semi-professional their entire lives. I mean, Jordan was playing ball his entire life. That don't mean anything. He never had a major injury, you know, thank goodness. But I mean, it happens. Look at Kobe, bro. Kobe, peak fitness. I mean, the guy treated his body like a, a sanctuary, bro. And he tore his Achilles too. It just is what it is. I mean, it's a freak injury. I just seen I was watching a Mets game last night, bro. And the pitcher, he came off the mound awkwardly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he went to go get the ball, and it was just how his back foot and it wasn't like he was moving fast. He wasn't trying to explode off. He wasn't trying to like move quickly. It was just an awkward step back, and tore his Achilles, ruptured it.
That's what
On the
I'm
mound.
telling you, bro. That's what I'm telling you. When we see these, this is how it happens. I know a person who hurt his Achilles before just stepping off the curb.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stepping over.
Sometimes I walk and I be feeling like, damn, my calf tight, and I can feel it down there. Like, damn, I'm probably right next to having one too.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
So it's just like,
you remember that day we was playing ball at the gym?
Yeah.
And I was pushing bro. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that too. Like, dang, bro. Like, all I would have took was wrong move because I was hurt and I was pushing myself. He was like, bro, come on, just go sit down.
I was hurt
go
too.
Sit down, bro.
I was hurt too.
Yeah, bro, he was hurt. I mean, but I think half of it was like old age catching up to us. We ain't really like, you know what I'm saying? We got no wind. We got, we're not moving around like that like we used to. We used to be at the park in the gym all the time. Now it's like, once a year. And that once a year, I feel it.
Yeah.
I can see how, like, you know, you going through it a whole season, your body's already tired. You going through the wear and tear. It's not a normal 82 games, you know what I'm saying? You got 82 games plus you're on your 16th plus, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at 100 games. So yeah, bro. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Shout out to Hallie though. Um, even as a Knicks fan, I don't wish no injuries on anybody, man. I ain't wish it on Tatum. When we played against them, I wanted to beat them healthy. Same thing with Indy. You know, you want to beat them at their full strength. You don't want no asterisks. You don't want no what if scenarios. I'm not saying that this is one of them. I still think with a healthy Hallie, the Thunder would have took care of business. But
yeah,
you don't. And I'm happy for Hallie too. Despite him being injured, I'm happy for him because you don't, as a player, you don't ever want to sit out thinking like, dang, I probably could have made an impact. Like, what if I'm the reason we lost this game? Me not being out there on the court. Even if I'm a cone, I could have still been, you know, I could have drew some attention because I could shoot or I could pass really well. You know, so shout out to Hallie, man. He had a good mindset going into it.
And also, too, not to cut you off, keep your thought, but just the fact that he came from being underrated at the start of the playoffs to being one of the top players that you could watch and be like, yo, he really did his thing. And it's no denying it because he truly did his thing.
Yep.
And if he was still played, he would have eclipsed the 200 assist mark throughout a postseason. Because right now he's number one. Yeah, he's number one in playoff history for playoff assists with not 192. So 8 assists, he gets them in his sleep.
Yeah, man. So that's one thing I want to applaud him for. You know, as a player, as a competitor, you don't ever want to go into any scenario where you have that in the back of your head for the what ifs, because he could have sat out these 2 games. The doctor suggested him sat out the last 2 games. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna give it a go. Look, if I could walk, if I could breathe, if I could be out there, I'm gonna be out there for my guys." He gave it a go, and you know what I'm saying. The game 6, thankfully, he got out there scot-free. Game 7, it was a different story. Either way, you know, I don't wish down on anybody's downfall, man. Shout out to Hallie. You're a true competitor. I appreciate you for giving us a good season. Indiana was really fun to watch, even against us, even against the Knicks, man. Yeah, it was really fun to watch. I mean, I'm sure there was more fun for other people to watch against the Knicks. Kind of hurt me. But hey, man, look, man, it was fun to watch, man. So hell of a season. OKC, you guys deserve the championship. Y'all parade was iffy. How y'all like 20-something years old? Y'all not popping them free champagne bottles, bro. The finest of the finest champagnes, and y'all just only popped 4 out of like 16. Like, nah, y'all wildin', bro. I'd have just popped them to pop them.
How easy to say I'll drink champagne because they make my stomach hurt. Yeah, no nice champagne, baby. Huh?
Is it my sound? Is it me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
It's you.
One of it is probably my sound.
Is it me?
Hold on, man.
Sorry, we are having technical difficulties. We are looking into this right now. We have the IT department dealing with this. For now, you can check out our sponsors.
It was me.
You can check out our sponsors. We're sponsored by now. It's him.
Hey, what just happened? What's sponsor?
No, I was talking about.
We got sponsors?
Yeah, we sponsored by Louis Skywalker, his Twitch.tv, Louis Skywalker He streams at least 3 times a week. He sponsors the channel. He helps us do what we gotta do, and go check him out on TikTok as well.
Appreciate that. Yo, you know what's crazy? I've been getting hit up by these TikTok agencies.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We'll talk about that off camera, but it was just crazy. Hey man, draft happened.
The NBA draft.
Draft happened. Whew.
Yes.
Look at that.
The most expected.
Look at that. Look at my boy. Look at my boy.
Look at him.
Look at him. Look at how happy Adam Silver looks. Look at how happy he looks. Look at him. Soul to soul to death.
You got white boy. You got the white boy as #1 pick, man. Come on, you got to be happy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, got to be.
Shout out Luka. Shout out Luka, man.
Yeah, without him, it wouldn't be possible.
Without him, it wouldn't be possible at all, man. Did the draft go exactly how you expected, or?
Honestly, we're gonna get into this. Let's just get into it right now.
That's okay, Ace Bailey, go ahead, rip the Band-Aid off.
No. We're not gonna talk about that.
Okay,
we're gonna talk about how fast this draft happens, because we gotta talk about this. Adam Silver. I understand this is probably just something y'all want to get past. Really rigmarole for a lot of things. We know who's going to get picked. Sometimes things go, sometimes things change. But from the content creating side, I know we have some YouTubers who go throughout the year. They looking at film on these guys, but then some people who, they take a little 2 weeks and they do their research and figure out what's going on, and then we can sit there and talk about it. Lou, we sat down 1 year. We've been doing this for 4 years, right? I think the first or second year we sat down, and we went through the first 10 picks together. The lottery, and I could talk about almost every player in there. It's a mouthful. I try to keep up as much as possible, but watching the NBA, watching college, it's tough. So it's just like, I think this draft just needs to have 1 week later, because we just finished the Game 7 series on Sunday, and you tell me Wednesday is the draft? This is social media. I understand things move faster, but you got to allow people to drop this content. Let the content flow. Let these players be able to go ahead a week before and get something situated. Have fun out there. Do some things. Create content for the league. You're out in New York. You know what? Take a little extra time. Come a little early. Enjoy New York for what it is.
Yeah, I agree. We spoke about that. I think what was it? Wednesday? We talked about it. The first day of the draft. First of all, I don't like how they broke up the draft. It's y'all got 2 rounds. This is not the NFL. Y'all got 7 rounds, and y'all got to get through freaking 800 kids who's getting drafted. No, bro. Like, it's literally 60 kids that's going into this draft, bro. Like, come on, like 70 tops. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. You don't need 2 nights. Like, 1 night is more than enough. Secondly, I agree, because when you look at other drafts, the only other draft, well, NHL, they have an draft tonight. Their season ended last week as well, but I mean, it's hockey. I mean, these guys, they play. I believe the college hockey just ended not too long ago as well, so they're trying to wrap up their stuff with college. Baseball, their draft is coming up, but their draft literally happens during their season, because they have 82 games that they play, 180 some games that they play. And I mean, when are you going to do a draft? You can't do it in September, October, when the season's over, because these kids is back in school. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you could literally get drafted in the MLB and still be in college, like, which is the craziest part to me. You could get drafted in high school and still like, But anyways, for the NFL, their season ends in February. They do their draft in April. So you got a full
Mm.
month of, all right, well, you got the Super Bowl champions. We could talk about the Super Bowl champs. We could talk about get into like what can we expect next season, who's dropping, because free agency is about to open and their free agency period starts over in like the end of March, early April, going into the draft and stuff like that. So there's so much talk around. This is why NFL is one of the biggest media, why NFL's talked about so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is year round for them. It's clockwork. You're not going a month without talking about us. NBA could do the same thing. There's no reason why we're at the end of June. Y'all could have waited to the first week of July, right after 4th of July. Matter of fact, y'all could have probably done it the week of 4th of July. Did it July 2nd and 3rd. What was that? That's Wednesday and Thursday of next week. The 2nd and the 3rd of July, and then go right into the 4th. And now we got something to talk about for the weekend.
Yeah.
Now we barbecuing and arguing about who's the best draft pick.
Yeah.
Who's the best free agent that's out there? What's the best trade? Because I don't like these trades either. I don't like how the season literally just ended and we already have 4 or 5 trades.
Bro,
where is the tampering period? Where is the new league year? You know what I'm saying? Like where is any of that? This is why I love the NFL. They have a tampering period where you could go and talk to these free agents and stuff like that. They have a league year, so you can't make any transactions. You can't talk to nobody until the new league year begins. New league year don't begin until like April, so you gotta wait 2-3 months just to. Oh, let me call this free agent up. Let me see. Yeah, you a really good linebacker. I like you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to come out here to Philly? You like Miami? You like the Heat out here? You know what I'm saying? Like the NBA really could do that. We literally could be going into August talking about who's getting drafted and who's all of this stuff. Like spread this stuff out so that way you guys have more leeway when it comes to the content that you want to put out into the world. Y'all wonder why y'all losing money? This is why.
This is it. This content creating side of sports now. I know the NBA, they adjust because I used to watch NBA highlights on random channels. They would get flagged one time, flagged here, flagged there, and to the point where the NBA puts the highlights up themselves. So we know that you sit there and look and you adjust to the thing. The problem is y'all take too much time to adjust. Yes, you the guys that are old. You understand that y'all are what y'all are. There's nobody better. But we're asking for better.
All right, let's get into the draft though.
Let's get it.
Ace Bailey falling to Utah.
Oh, this guy.
I had to rip the Band-Aid off.
This guy here, bro.
I'm not mad at him. Denying certain teams access to him.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not mad at. I'm mad at him denying access to every single team. All 30 teams he denied access to. I'm not working out for not one of y'all.
Not now, wanna.
It's cool if you only want to work out for who you want to get drafted. That's cool. If you wanted to get drafted to, let's say, Charlotte, cool. I'm cool with you just working out for Charlotte. I'm cool with that. You dubbing every other call. What, Portland and Utah and Atlanta? I'm cool with that. But you dubbed all 30 teams.
All 30. Even a team that you wanted to play for.
Allegedly.
You ain't going to see. Nah, he said his team wanted to play for teams like Brooklyn and places where he could get his shots up. Where it's like, come on, bro. And you still ain't get there. Ha. I'm just saying, I just feel like, and it's just like you said, you was talking about this NIL stuff. They got these kids arrogant, this, that, and the third. Like,
on top.
Everything is a blessing and a curse. I love the fact that they have that because these kids do need to get played. They put their bodies in danger every time they go out there. They're training hard. They're doing what they got to do through college just for these colleges to make money,
Yeah.
not for these kids to make money. But at the end of the day, it's got kids like this, people like this going on where it's like, yo, I want to control where I want to go. It's just we've had this for so long going on. We've seen how the process goes with it. With starting with LeBron taking charge of where he got to go, and it's like we talked about it at times. It's just not that good for the league because there's too much players doing what they want, how they move, how they feel. The wind blow. I want to go to another team. Make it happen. Come on. At the end of the day, you're straight out of college, bro. You got something to prove first. You go out there and prove that this team should have picked you up. You prove that this team, you know what I mean? Go out there and do it. Like, and I understand you want to go somewhere just to put up meaningless shots, or you want to go somewhere to win.
And it's reported that he might not intend on reporting to Utah.
Oh yeah, seen that nonsense.
Yeah, so it's a tough situation, bro. I mean, you wasting millions, you wasting. They don't care, bro. And all these teams, they will collude, they will blackball you.
Mm-hmm.
What's that line in Training Day? You will be playing basketball in Guantanamo Bay.
And Pelican Bay when I'm through with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Shoe program.
You be in China, bro. You better wisen up, kid.
Bro, that's the one thing. It's just like this is your opportunity, bro. Opportunity of a lifetime. There's so many people who would love to be there and be grateful.
Yep, and like we said, there's only about 70 kids that go through the draft.
And let's keep it a step, bro. Personalities like this, the arrogance like this, how many of them do we remember as NBA champs?
Not many.
Off court arrogance,
not many.
On the court arrogance.
Yeah, not many.
Court, I'm the best, but this off court stuff, it never works out well.
No, I mean, people could say that Kobe was arrogant, but Kobe wasn't really arrogant.
He was on the court arrogant. He
wanted to be out there and play. But off the court, he was professional. In your face, look, this is what it is. I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I'm very professional, clean cut. You're not catching me slipping off my words, nothing like that. This is how you got to move, especially in nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, this is social media age, where anything said, anything done is going to look bad because it's going to be plastered all over the social medias, all over the Twitters, the ESPNs, the Bleacher Reports, the Facebooks. You are going to be made to look bad. Nowadays, they deep faking stuff. They saying stuff that you said to them in an interview that you never said, but you can't even defend it because people are going to believe it because of how you move it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's tough, man. I hope this kid wakes up and no disrespect. We're older. I'd call all of y'all rookies, kids in college. Y'all kids, bro. I mean, shoot, our kids is going to college soon. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all kids, bro. Y'all kids to us. And I really hope that this is not just eye-opening for the other kids, but also for him. I hope that one day, he could open up his eyes and see that he's only hurting his own brand. Because when you talk about the extra money that you could be making, these companies like Nike, Adidas, and they're not reaching out to you, bro. They're not. They don't want somebody that doesn't have the work ethic on and off the court that they can put their brand behind. I'm not putting my brand behind somebody who
doesn't want to show up just because he feels some type of way,
right?
About after to the NBA.
Because guess what? When you get these brand endorsements, you get these Nike, these Adidas, Under Armour deals, you're gonna have to show up to places you don't want to be. doing signings, giving out free sneakers, doing charity work, all for the endorsement because it's going to be in the contract. You think Steph Curry wants to be up at 7:00 in the morning on a Saturday signing sneakers at a camp? Nah, bro. But he does it. Why? Because he signed that contract and he's obligated to, and he's never gonna let that show. He's gonna smile in front of the cameras. He's gonna show up. LeBron, man, one of the biggest brands in the world. He does what he has to do, bro, on and off the court. You'll never hear a blemish about him. We can make it up. We can make up a whole bunch of stuff about LeBron, but it's not true, bro. It's not gonna stick because how he handles himself. Now, if I say I got a source that says the Ace Bailey not only didn't want to participate in anything, he didn't even want to go through the draft, and he wanted to be handpicked by a specific team, and that specific team is Brooklyn. That's believable. Very believable. Even if it's a lie, it's believable because of the actions that he's already displayed. Although that is what I heard from a source.
Yeah, that's literally what.
Yeah, literally what it is, that is what I heard though. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that aside, bro. Like, come on, man. Yeah. But let's talk about the other kids that are not showing any signs of entitlement. VJ was a Edgecombe,
yes.
Yeah, shout out to him. I like his story. I like where he got drafted at. I think he's a really he got a bright future. I like his game. I think that he's gonna fit nicely right next to he's gonna take a lot of pressure off of what's his face? What's the guard's name? Why? But Tyrese Maxey. He's gonna take a lot of pressure off of Tyrese Maxey. I like the fact that they drafted him because that's somebody who could be a dual combo guard alongside Maxey and help out with scoring, take the edge off. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're gonna keep if they keep in always injured, never shows up, playoff P. Yeah. If they keep him and then if they keep the other guy who's always injured, never plays and gets MVPs, that guy, Embiid. Yeah. But nah, all jokes aside, nah, it's a good pickup for them. I think that to me, that was probably the best pick of the draft concerning fit and where you're going to. I mean, we could argue the best is probably the number one overall pick, but I think that wherever Cooper went, I think he would have been good. But this pick specifically, VJ going to Philly, I think works because of the duality of Tyrese and Edgecombe.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's good. At the end of the day, we just talked about him. I think Ace Bailey would have been a fantastic player to have been there.
Yeah,
slide him in. I
would have liked Ace Bailey in Charlotte, to be honest with you. Him and Melo. That would have been
the only reason is just like the only reason is because it might comp to him, similar builds, similar play style. It's a guy they already have there. And damn, what's his name? They just drafted him 2 years ago.
Who? In Utah?
Charlotte.
Oh, in Charlotte.
What's his name?
You're not talking about PJ because PJ was traded.
No. I'm gonna tell you right now. What's his name popping up? Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller. A scoring like they already have one of those.
Yeah. But I like Ace Bailey more next to Melo.
I understand what you're saying, but it's just like now that's creating a redundancy.
Yeah.
And it's like this is you already have somebody who's young who's in that mold. It's like go ahead and in Philly, you got a guy like Paul George. He's gonna be out going shortly. And then the guy Bailey could have learned something from him. He could have been in a position where he's with people who's ready to win. And the thing about it, these people are injured, so you're going to be able to get them shots up. You would have a role as well that's well defined. So you
Yeah.
know what you got to do, how you got to do it, and what's expected from you. And
Also,
I
let's
think
be
that's
honest. How many rookies are really starting?
bro, exactly. So it's just like that would have been a fantastic spot for him. But VJ, I ain't gonna lie, that's not even one of the people I looked at more Dylan Harper. I've looked at more.
I like the Dylan Harper one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
like
I
the
think
Dylan.
VJ
You know
going
what? Not for
is
nothing. I
fantastic.
like. I'm a little bit upset that we traded away pick 50 for 51 and got a Frenchman, a 7-foot Frenchman.
Yeah.
I wanted the kid that we originally was going to draft, the kid from Nevada that we
Mm,
traded to the Clippers. I think that he's going to be nice. I think he's going to be somebody I could come off the bench and just score.
yeah. But no, yeah, definitely. I think VJ is a fantastic pick for them. But like I said, I think the winner, I like my thing, I always look at the wings, the guards, the big. I'm not really into the guards. I'm into the wings and the front court players. For some reason I see them and I see the potential. I see the potential. And for me, my interesting ones was one of the Spurs pick, Carter Bryant. I think he's gonna fit fantastically with what they got situated and what's going on. He's a hard nosed defender. He could shoot the three ball 40% during college. Shorts on low amount, but he's showing what he could do. He didn't play that much. He only probably had like 20 minutes a game, but he showed what he could do. So I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be fantastic for them. And also the guy he was taking like a few picks before was damn, why his name just escaped me. Here we go. Colin Murray Boyles. Obviously, no one's excited to go to Toronto. Taxes too much snow. But guess what? You got picked. You got picked. I know why he's mad. They showed the video of him. Oh, he dropped the F bomb. Why? Because who wants to go to that cold ass place? Nobody. But the thing about it,
I ain't mad
I
at
like,
his girlfriend.
huh?
Huh?
Yeah. That's cool. Um,
she nice.
yeah. But the thing
On and
about
off the court.
yeah, but the thing about it too, the reason why I like him, and it's not like you want to throw those comps out there. This is a Hall of Fame I'm about to compare him to, and that's Draymond Green. The guy about the same size, about the same height,
I
6'7".
was gonna put him more like because this pick is the a Siakam ish OG type of pick that Toronto, because Toronto likes these type of wings. They like them, you know,
But he's not a wing.
rangy.
He's technically supposed to be a big man in his position. He's a small big.
Yeah, he's a
And
small big, but yeah.
but the thing
But
about
yeah,
it
but
is
that, I
like
mean
when you watch
Siakam is
the
too.
tapes,
Siakam's a small big.
Siakam just long. When you watch the
Pause.
tapes, pause. When you watch the tapes, he can move his feet. He hasn't shown like the ultimate ability with so much time to rep to move his feet with guards, but he could switch out with guards. He can handle his own with his size.
Yeah,
And his versatility on defense is crazy. Where it's like for his size,
that he could guard 2 to
that he could
5.
go out
Yeah,
there and help. You know what I mean? Switch out and
yeah.
do things like that. So it's just like that's when I was looking at his tapes. I was looking at his films, and I was like, the dancing bear. Nobody calls him that. That's just Basketball Reference has his nickname.
I
Probably
think
calls
that's why
that
the Knicks
college.
went ahead and drafted the French dude, because I think the French dude is like 6'8", 6'9". But
So
he's not a scorer. Like from everything that I read and seeing his tape, he's just a rangy defender.
yeah,
Like he has a
man,
7'1" wingspan at 6'8".
yeah.
He just
So
defends, and he won a chip with French for their
yeah,
season.
French team. Yeah,
Yeah,
and also
that pick remind me of Frank Ntilikina. It's gonna be a bad pick.
not Frankie.
Frank
And then
Tank.
also one of the interesting picks that I want to see how it's going to pan out is Brooklyn taking Igor Demi.
Ooh, I think I ain't really like that pick. I'm not gonna lie to you, because
No,
I don't know about the
but
fit.
that's the thing. The fit with what? The fit with what?
Yeah, I
Have
guess.
nothing going on.
Yeah.
They have no fit.
Yeah. All
The best
right. All
talent.
right.
So that's the
Touche.
reason why the pick is more. The pick is more like, oh, what are we doing? But it's just like
It
he's
could
a
work.
6'9". He's a
Yeah,
6'9" guard, and it's
it
just
could
like
work.
for me, I just said it's interesting because I want to see what's going to work out. What did these guys see in him
Yeah.
that we didn't see? Could it be a
Yeah.
bust? It could for a number 9 pick, for a lottery pick, yeah. But come on, we're talking about lottery. We're talking about NBA players. We're talking about all this stuff is a crapshoot. Some people
Yeah.
who look decent in college turns out to be the best. Some people who look great in college turns out to be burgers. They bums.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm interested in him because his size, his playmaking ability, if he could develop his jumper in time to be more viable out there. Because we had the guy who went from Washington and now he's in Portland. These names escape me. Ooh, he's in Portland now. Danny Avia.
Okay.
How do we look at him? Barely.
Yeah.
But he's really the same size and makeup kinda of him. And it's like if you could get anything that he's turned into in Portland, out in Brooklyn, you have a good person, a good unit to start with and create around. Not just create around, but have a piece that you like, if I go ahead and I figure out what's going on with our team, he can
Yeah.
fit in fantastically. It'd be like a hybrid 4-man, 3
Yeah.
4.
Brooklyn just has to do a lot. They have to do a
Yeah,
lot to get
they
to
still
where
got a
they
lot to
want to
do.
be.
So it's like
Yeah.
even
This
though
is a
people
start.
don't like this pick, it's just like whatever. You got to take the chance at the prospect because at the end of the day, we're not slated. You're not slated to do anything. We could care
Yeah.
less about Brooklyn, but it's
Yeah.
just
And
like
then
I
on
need
top of
to see
that,
that player.
it wasn't like this wasn't a good draft. I mean, I want to
Mm,
say this draft was loaded, but I mean, there was a lot of talent in this draft.
Yeah,
You know, I
that's the
mean,
reason
when you
why
could
it's
get
difficult.
quality picks in the second round from guys that have, NCAA honors,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever category. I mean, the kid in Nevada that got picked on 50, if that went to the Clippers that we traded, I mean, he had like he was like number one in or number two in scoring in the ACC. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're getting good depth pieces that you're hoping that could turn into rotational. If you could get a star, if you could hit on a star, of course, that's always the goal. But I mean, when you're coming into the draft, especially teams that are already contending, you're just looking for a rotational piece, somebody that could come in, fit in, and immediately make an impact, whether it's coming off the bench or whether it's a couple of years down the line. But for the teams that's gonna be routinely in the lottery, the Brooklyns, the Utahs, the Chicago's, all of these teams, you're looking for guys that not only can hopefully make an impact coming down the line, but that has potential. You want to hit on that potential because you get the right coaches, you get the right culture, you can unlock that potential. There's guys that get drafted that you look at and they're like, oh, he's really good in college, right? They get drafted, they
Mm-hmm.
go to this team, and then they're just like, well, he's obviously a bust. But then he goes to another team and he finally untaps whatever they saw in him in the first place when it comes to drafting. So
Girl.
sometimes it's just the environment. Sometimes it's just the culture and the atmosphere of where you get drafted too. So I mean, I'm not mad at any team taking a flyer. If Brooklyn thinks that this could be something, I hope it is something for the sake of this kid because it sucks to get drafted to go to a team that doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a winning culture, but you have to have a winning mentality. So
For
even if you know you're not going to win, even if you know you're not going to be going to the playoffs, you still want to have guys that we're competing. I don't care who's out there. They could be the number one team. We are trying to beat them. They could be undefeated. We want to be that one loss. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Brooklyn's doing, but hopefully they took a hit on the flyer, and I hope he succeeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not mad at this draft. Like I said, I want to say it was deep. It wasn't a deep draft, but there was talent all around the board. Right. Yeah, it was a lot better than last year. And I still think next year is the draft that we really should be looking for. But this draft wasn't that bad. I want to say it was top heavy. I think that outside of probably the top 10, there was talent. There was talent in all 60 something picks. Yeah. So it just depends on where they go to, the fit. I even think some of the two-ways. I think some of the two-way contracts that got picked up today was pretty good. Portland got a two-way player who looks good. He looks good. But it just depends. We got to see how everything comes to Summer League. I know we said this is a season finale, but we're gonna have an episode or two this summer. We'll post it when we gonna go live or whatever. But
yeah,
we gotta talk about this. So it's Summer League.
Yeah, winners and losers of this.
Wait, what was that?
I said winners and losers of this draft.
Oh, losers of this draft.
Winners and losers.
Oh, winners is obviously the Mavs. You trade your star player. You trade your star player to get another star player.
They won at the lottery.
It's the Mavs, bro.
They won at the lottery. And
I get it, but there's still. I mean, we're talking about winners and losers in the draft, regardless of the lottery or not.
Yeah, they won at the lottery, so they winners. Yeah, and it's the thing.
If we're not talking about,
yeah,
if we're not talking about the lottery, Lakers.
It's not
Lakers. I think the Lakers did really well in this draft. I think that everybody that they picked up, they had like 3 picks. They picked out a necessity. They picked out a need.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It wasn't. It was not only just what was the best available pick at that pick. It was also based off of need. And I think that's what's good about when you're drafting in basketball. It's not like football where you could kind of like stash. You could stash a linebacker in the 3rd round and like hope he develops into something. You know what I'm saying? In basketball, you kind of got to hit on these picks. You only got 2 rounds. You got 2 picks. They had 3, and I think that they drafted well. So in my opinion, they was the winners of this draft. The losers of this draft, in my opinion, Phoenix. Phoenix didn't. In my opinion, I think that every team picked, or based off of talent that they see that could come in and make some sort of impact, whether it be coming off the bench, whether it be inserting into the starting lineup, whatever it is. Phoenix to me didn't get better, didn't get worse. I feel like every other team kind of got better, kind of.
Yeah.
Phoenix just I don't know exactly what they was drafting for. You know what I'm saying? You're not you need a big. You drafted the dude from Duke who he's not a spacer, bro. He's they drafted him. They drafted the 7'3" dude from Duke.
I don't think the Phoenix is.
I need them to get a power forward.
What I think though is power forward. I think the reason why I want you for them being some type of losers is because they drafted the center, and then the same day they traded for a center.
Yeah.
So I know that's a position of need. Yeah, but it's like you need your entire team. You ain't got no point guard. You ain't got no small forward. You ain't got no power forward. Like you got a bunch of guards.
You got a bunch of shooting guards, bro. Not even like combo guards. You got a bunch of shooting guards. You don't got guards that could either swing to the 3 or swing to the 1 and run the offense correctly. Like, nah, y'all got a bunch of tools, a whole bunch of tools.
That's what it is.
Y'all traded for some tools because as much props as we like to give Dylan Brooks defensively, he is still a 2, bro. They put him at the 3, fine, that's cool, positionless. He is a 2. He's a 2.
So
Phoenix Suns, they're my losers. They didn't get better, they didn't get worse. They just Yeah, hey, we're cool. we're cool
Yeah,
where we at, man.
yeah.
Yo,
For
trade
me,
Devin Booker, man. Free my boy.
yeah, free D book. For me, since we already on losers, I'm gonna talk about my loser. My loser, I'm gonna go with the Pelicans.
Mm,
Not because like I think they got decent players and fairs. You know, he has to get his efficiency up. He picked
yeah,
Derek Queen. But that's where I think that's the thing. You were so high on Derek Queen. You traded from the 25th pick to the 13th pick to get him. And it's not just that pick that I'm worried about. It's the next pick that they traded for next year's draft, which is
mhm.
going to be a pick from either is going to be affected by either Phoenix or Milwaukee. It's if it's top five, they'll get
It's
it
protected.
type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So it's just like the fact that you lost that pick too. When no, I said Phoenix. I meant it's their pick. Pelicans. No, it's Phoenix and Milwaukee. My
yeah.
bad.
It's Phoenix and
Where
Milwaukee.
those teams are teams that like next week Giannis could be gone. Who knows? Uh,
Yeah, Dame is
Devin
still hurt.
Booker
There's
could
no
be,
timetable when
yeah,
he'll be back. They don't got a
Devin
team.
Booker could be gone. Exactly. These are from two teams that really don't have a team.
That
So
and
it's
this pick
like
could literally fall.
this pick could become a fantastic pick. And it's like if it doesn't become a fantastic pick, then it's like, all right, cool. But right now we're looking at both these teams like, yo, they could just be in the shitter.
Yeah,
So it's like that's the reason why that's my loser.
I'm not mad at that, especially
Mm-hmm.
for because that. Well, we'll get into the trades, but I didn't. The trade didn't move the needle for what they drafted. You know what I'm saying? It
Because
doesn't.
they
It doesn't
drafted
fit
that,
in
and then you got Ferris, and then just like a day before, you traded for
for Poole.
Jordan Poole. So it's like, all right, now Fizz, you got to learn from Jordan Poole, not even CJ McConnell. If you still have McConnell, I'll be like, all right, I'm cool with the Fairs.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm not mad at Fairs anyway, regardless of who you brought in. But if CJ McConnell was still there, I'd be like, I can call him CJ McConnell. Oh, McCollum.
Yeah, McCullum.
Um, if he was there, I'd be like, at least he could learn from a vet.
Yeah,
I don't care what y'all say about Jordan Poole. He's still gonna be the kid in my eye. That little kid to be. Um, but yeah, moving on. Our winners. I got the Spurs. That's one of the guaranteed the Spurs.
I like the Spurs
Because
pick.
getting Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah,
Just because you picked up a great talent, yeah, he kind of falls into what you already have with Castle and De'Aaron Fox. But now you got another guard off the bench who could keep the same attacking mentality that these two have, and you can have your game plan just keeps flowing the same
yep.
way.
And not to mention they have a good bench, so him working that second unit is gonna be
Exactly.
fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic for him and his development. And
Hmm.
then And then the thing about it, if De'Aaron Fox doesn't shake up to be what y'all exactly need, and y'all sit there and be like, you know what, maybe we should trade him. You can trade him. You still have yours. Like, come on. Depending on how the season pans out, how everything goes, this literally could have if they never traded for Fox, this literally could have been a season where we're looking at a three-peat of rookie of the year.
Yeah,
It could have been a three-peat.
yeah, I
So
agree.
it depends on how the season goes. They could still go ahead and get a three-peat, but it's just like he wouldn't have enough minutes to, I
Nah,
think,
I think Cooper gonna
book
get it.
that. But I'm just saying it could have been
Yeah,
up in the air.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I agree. I agree.
you know what I mean? And
I
also
agree.
speaking of Cooper, um, another winner, Duke Blue Devils. Yes. Oh no, they didn't pick anybody in the draft. They got their whole starting lineup picked
Yeah,
in the
all
draft.
five of them. All five of them, bro. That's crazy.
Picked in the draft first day. Let's go. So I think Duke Blue Devils are just a winner in general. And then you
Yep.
even said it for the Knicks, they picked up a Frenchman. More Frenchmen picked up this year. Look, France, they just putting out talent now.
Nah, they are.
Watch out, America.
They are.
We.
Spain too.
You're
Spain.
gonna learn how to speak. You're gonna have to learn how to speak French. Because they bring in the talent. So it's just like I think those are the winners as well. Duke for having all those players drafted from their starting lineup, and then France, they making it happen out there. The French is going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not mad at that. Let's get into these trades before we get up out of here.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole. Couple other pieces really don't care about, just those two main people because those are the biggest names in the trade. This is a win for Washington. This is a loss for the Pelicans. Pelicans lose a savvy vet in McCollum, a consistent vet. He's one of the most consistent vets in the league. He's going to give you 15 a night. He's going to give you veteran leadership. He is going to give you solid guard play at the 2 position. Jordan Poole, on the other end, is not a savvy vet. He is a vet. He is going to give you inconsistency at the 2 guard. I get why you want to get him, because you want to pair him next to your wing in BI. But the thing is, BI is at the point where he needs to contend. He's already worked on his game. He's already become very efficient. He is a go-to bucket. He needs somebody that's going to be his Robin. Zion is way too injured to be his Robin. CJ McCollum was that for him. What they needed was a big, somebody that they can have in the paint. Ever since they got rid of what's his face? What's his name?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. The big Samoan dude.
Boy.
Yeah. Ever since they got rid of him, that paint's been real sweet.
Steven Adams, that one.
Steven Adams, yeah.
Yeah.
But the other big two, I know you're talking about. But
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but either way, that paint's been extra sweet since they got rid of these guys. That's what they needed. They needed a big. If you're gonna trade, I get that you want to get off of CJ McCollum's contract, but guess what? You got off of CJ McCollum's contract to get onto Jordan Poole's contract.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I like the Washington is a young team. They need the leadership that CJ is going to give them. A lot of their guys are young. They only have 3 vets over there. Marcus Smart, what's his face from what Middleton, Chris Middleton, and now they got CJ McCollum. This is a team with 3 vets over there with a whole bunch of young guys. That's why I'm not mad at it. You want somebody with more of a voice, because Chris Middleton, as well as a vet that he is, he doesn't have the voice that CJ McCollum has. CJ McCollum, not only a vice president of the National Basketball Players Association, but he's if not the president, I think he's the president right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's the president.
Right. So you have somebody that's in a leadership role off the court, also leadership role on the court. This is somebody that's going to be solid and steady for them. Marcus Smart, I'm not looking to Marcus Smart for advice. Marcus Smart's a hot wire. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Middleton doesn't have the pedigree at the vet position to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at his position, but not for the entire team. CJ McCollum's a guy who could come in and be the captain and get guys right on the court, especially these young guys. Washington is a relatively young team. They're a lottery team. I get the trade for Washington. I don't get the trade for New Orleans.
No, I think I'm on a I can see what you're saying, but on the New Orleans side of it, you're going for the upside. At the end of the day, too, that's what you're going for when you go ahead and get Jordan Poole.
Well, Poole, because he's a bucket.
What he can do.
Yeah,
we've seen what he could do. He was still good this season.
No, he was. Yeah,
he was still good this season. Was he the best? No, but he was still good.
Yeah.
And going for that isn't too bad. Like I could understand it because what he can give you night to night with Bi and then Zion, you still can have a more formidable three right there. Am I gonna
Yeah.
be sitting here thinking, oh yeah, this team's gonna be playoff crazy?
No.
No. But do they have an upside to do that? Yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean, the Pelicans had an
problem. The
upside the past 2
potential.
years when it comes
Yeah,
to the playoffs.
the only
Yeah,
problem with this team is the potential. Everybody has the potential, but none of them
yeah,
has the consistency.
yeah. Well, Bi is the only
That's the
consistent
only
one there.
person that's
Yeah.
consistent. But what I mean is, like, you still got three. You got two out of the three of your biggest players that you're thinking of
Mm,
now, and two, one's either injured or the other one's just either just lost in the sauce.
yeah,
Like, so it's just like it's tough. So I like it for the Pelicans in a way, but I also don't. But for Washington, to me, it's just up in the air. Whatever, guys. Do your thing. Look good. Make yourselves look good. Make yourself some good plays so we can go ahead and trade you and get something good for y'all. Do
yeah.
that for me. That's what I look
Um,
at it for the Washington.
the other trade was a 3-team trade: Celtics, Hawks, Knicks. The Celtics get Niang in a second round pick. Atlanta got Kristaps Porzingis in a second round pick, and Brooklyn got the 22 pick in this draft, as well as Terrence Mann.
Okay.
I think the only winner out of this one is Boston. Boston is clearly the winner. They're just shedding money. Hey, hey,
Yeah.
let me get over for you. Let me get over for you. Let
Mhm.
me get over for you. Yeah, Boston's doing what they got to do to try to get underneath the second apron, but also
Yeah.
have pieces that could fit around Jaylen Brown. That's what they're looking at right now. They don't know when Jason Tatum is going to come back. They need to get enough pieces that can fit around what Jaylen Brown does best. And I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. Keeping Chris Stapps would have been good if he's healthy, but the thing is, he really hasn't been healthy the entirety of his career.
All right.
And when they needed him the most in the playoffs, he was a no-show. He was a dud. So getting him to Atlanta, and Atlanta, if he's available, he could be dynamic next to Trae Young. But
Yeah.
if he's available, and Terrence Mann, man, I talk so highly of Terrence Mann just for him to keep getting traded to other teams. Um, but I mean, it's Brooklyn, man. Brooklyn, they the main asset that they was looking for was the 22nd pick in this round,
Yeah.
which they used on whoever they used it on, but it's
Whoever
Brooklyn. It's
somebody.
Brooklyn. But yeah, the Terrence Mann, he's just gonna be coming off the bench. If he could get a bucket, go get a bucket. They're not doing nothing this year. So but yeah, like I said, Boston is the winner of this.
Yeah, I think Boston just shedding the contracts, bro. That's it. And they got rid of we talking about that one here. But they got rid of Porzingis, which is fantastic for them. I think even him in Atlanta is gonna be good. I think because in a way he's not going to be asked to do as much as far as mismatch hunt and things like that
Yeah.
because Porzingis can't back nobody down. For somebody so tall, so white, he ain't got no
And
body.
even if he starts, he'll probably start at the 4 because they still got
Capella,
what's his face? Yeah.
no, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
Capello.
just like, yeah, it's like, and then him being a pick and roll partner with somebody is actually who actually knows how to run a pick and roll fantastically, who can get him the ball in the spots he wants. I think
Yeah.
being in Atlanta could possibly unlock him a little bit more because there'll be less that he'll have to be asked to do. Giving more opportunity to
Yeah.
take some shots.
Yep.
So I think he'll open up what Atlanta wants to do
With Trae. Exactly.
with Trae. So
Hmm.
it still fits well. It's just like we always say injuries with this guy because he's always injured.
Yeah.
But I think like we said, Boston because Boston did what they had to do. to get
Yeah. And then on top of that, like I said before with Boston, it's not just about the shedding the contracts. Like I said, it is about maximizing the talent that they can still be able to try to compete with Jaylen Brown and what's his strengths. Because I mean, you look at the Boston and Portland trade with Anthony Simons. Like, yeah, you're losing a point guard, but potentially you could have you still have Derek White, you still have Peyton Pritchard. Now you're getting Anthony Simons, who's a bucket by himself, and you're pairing a bucket with somebody who, because Jaylen Brown is not known for, he could put his head down and get to the basket, but he's your number two.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna be forced to be the number one. And
Mhm.
although I think that he can shoulder the load of being a number one, you don't want to ask him too much. That's why you bring in
Yeah.
somebody like an Anthony Simons. That's why you trade
Mhm.
away a Chris Stats for a Niang who's more consistent in spreading the court and hitting the three as well. He's a forward
Yeah.
himself who could play the four, who could fit alongside of Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? So now there's a lot of space for Simons or Brown to kind of operate and work. And
Yeah.
you're not asking Derek White and Peyton Pritchard to take you off the dribble or work around. These guys they come down the court, they spot up, they
Mhm.
knocking down threes. So you're asking Jaylen Brown to go get a bucket. You're asking Anthony Simons now to go get a bucket. I don't need Chris Stats out there. I need
Yeah.
somebody like a Niang who can sit in the corner and just wait.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the
I
ball.
know. Yeah, I know we're gonna talk about Anthony Simons yet because we ain't say nothing about that. But yeah, Anthony Simons been a
I
part of
thought we already talked
the.
about it because I know we ran the
Nah, no, we
episode.
didn't. We didn't.
Yeah.
Because that just happened because they got rid of Porzingis and then
Mm-hmm.
they got rid of what's Drew and then Porzingis. So
Yeah.
but it didn't
I had
happen.
thought that
I
we already
swear it
talked
ain't
about the
happen.
Drew trade because I thought that was the day of the finals. Wasn't that no, the finals was on a Sunday. That happened on a Monday. I'm sorry. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened
So
Monday, June
yeah.
23rd. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Anthony Simons, like you said, he's fantastic for them. He's the mini Dame, the little Dame, a little Dame that could. So he's gonna bring some electric, and he'll fit into the offense of the
What they're
Celtics.
trying to do, yeah.
Exactly, perfect.
Without Jason Tatum, he's gonna fit right in.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like we said, we got to see how Jaylen Brown's going to be as a lead, as a number one, and it's
As a
just like
true number one now. Because
it
before
gives us more
1B, 2,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, it gives them more time to actually just play that role for real and to have all these guys ready for when Tatum gets back. Who we're going to keep when Tatum gets back? Is George Niang actually going to give us enough for him to be around? I like Niang because he's a smart player. He's like, he's a smart player. He can shoot the ball. He's crafty. You know what I'm saying? He does the little things. His personalities too that bring it to an organization that helps things. And I think that's what George Niang does as well. And Anthony Simon just gonna shoot the laces off that ball. Like
shoot the air out that ball, bro.
Yeah, shoot the seams off that ball. Like,
yo, bro, and he's going to a perfect spot where everybody got the green light to shoot the three. So I mean, that's an environment he's really gonna thrive in. And then on top of that, like I said, there's gonna be so much spacing on the floor. But then Boston, they typically run a 5 out and they collapse within. And the person that collapses it is Jaylen Brown. So now you have somebody else, because that was my biggest question. Who is going to be that option that you have next to Jaylen Brown? Because I can't, as much as I love Drew Holiday is not somebody that I'm expecting to be the number 2. Drew Holiday at this age in his career is a number 4, number 5 option. You know what I'm saying?
Him just like
You got the other old guy out there.
Yeah, him and him and Derek White, it's just like any offense they brought extra was fantastic.
Right, it's just a plus.
But you're not out there just that we need you to shoot the 3, we need you to defend. If you could come and dribble and make a little something extra happen, cool, we with that. But now we went ahead and picked up a guy, Anthony Simons, that's like Now we got somebody for real who do that. It's Peyton Pritchard. I love when you go out there and do that. But now you don't even have to really, you're not even really called upon to really do that anymore. Crazy. If Anthony Simons shows up and shows out, now you got a fourth person who can handle the rock. Now your team is complete with enough ball handlers and playmakers.
Yep.
That everybody on the court's a threat to dribble, drive, and shoot.
And that's something that's not talked about enough. With Derek White and his ability to put the ball on the floor, to be a ball handler. And I think that he's evolved into that role as well. Peyton Pritchard is another guy that I could see possibly starting. Who can also man the one, who can get the offense set up, who can, because you're only asking him to bring the ball up the court. You only ask him to get into the half court actions because Boston is a half court team. They want to spread you out. They want to hit the three. And if the three's not working, all right, well, I guess we'll try to go to the puck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they do, you know. But I think with Jaylen Brown being the true number one, they're going to have to try to, if they're smart, and I think Missoula is a smart coach, they're going to figure out a way how to maximize the 3-point shooting with what Jaylen Brown does well, because you don't have Tatum out there. Tatum's your true number one. He could go get a bucket on his own, whether it be from the three. He scores in all three phases. Jaylen Brown, he could score in all three phases. He's just not as consistent as Tatum is. Now you're going to have to ask him to be as consistent as Tatum was, but also you're going to have to ask him to do more of the dirty work that he was already doing. He has to put his head down, get to the cup. He has to play on both ends. He was already doing that. We're going to need you to do a little bit more. You're the number one now. Tatum's not here. This is his time to shine. So let's see if he lives up to the contract.
We'll see. We'll see. That we'll find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, we're going to get up.
Summer League popping up. Yeah, Summer League about to pop up. This is the last show of the season. We'll be back for Summer League though. We'll be
yeah.
We'll be back. We'll be back for Summer League. We'll call it like a little
get
summer
league action. The one thing I hate too, I wanted to say during the episode, I apologize. I'm not trying to make it any longer, but I hate the fact that Cooper Flag went number one, because you know, in all my assessments and how I look at wings and players, Cooper Flag is the one that's literally, I'll look at it, I'll be like, that's the player that I love. Like, if he was low key about it and not as super hyped, that would have been the player I'm looking at. I'd be like, yo, that's my guy. You know, the one I always pick that nobody be like, yo,
technically, Ace Bailey is more your guy than Cooper Flag. His skill set.
He's not, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He's
cool though. But Cooper Flag is more my speed, my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Cooper Flag can do a little bit of everything. He could pass, he could shoot, he could get to the cup. He scores at all three levels. Yeah, he's Cooper Flag special.
And it's the defensive side about it too.
Yeah, that too. He goes on the other end, gets blocked, steals.
Yeah, that's my speed. But anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all already know the vibes. Like, share, sub, or all the above. Your boys are signing out, not forever, but just for a little while. Give us a little break. We'll be back in a few, man. So expect the unexpected with us. We'll be here. We'll let y'all know. Thank y'all for tuning in this season.
Yeah, I'm back, straight facts, in my bag, straight facts, came to bring the hits, nigga, straight facts, straight, tryna hit the 4